I'm confused by this shit, so now I gotta confuse all of you. I don't know what's so hard about understanding that you shouldn't just go based off 15 seconds of information. I don't know why people who post things on Twitter and their blue check marks and they claim to be credible like to give hot takes and think that they're 100% right and then cry like bitches when you poke holes in their logic or provide the facts and evidence necessary to shit on their logic. I don't know why people like to grasp at straws when their weird hot take is proven wrong. I don't understand why when I typed in this name or saw this name on Twitter, all anybody would talk about is how the cop shot an unarmed person. The cop shot somebody who was going through a mental episode. But when you actually look at the information that was provided in the days later, you would understand it wasn't as cut and dry as Twitter wants to make it.
Thanks for joining us at 6. Several big developments right now in the investigation into the deadly police shooting of a man at an apartment building in South Minneapolis. We've learned the family of 20-year-old Andrew Tekle Sundberg has hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump. We've also obtained a copy of the search warrant in the case. Here's Carla Holt.
One day later, a broken window and burnt candles are all that remains from the scene of an officer-involved shooting, as community leaders continue to have questions.
New search warrants shed more light on what happened leading up to the deadly police shooting of 20-year-old Andrew Tekle Sundberg. According to the documents, the officers responding to Sundberg's apartment building on 21st Avenue South, after getting reports of shots fired, quote, started taking fire. That's when the officers asked for the Minneapolis SWAT team to also respond. 2 snipers set up on the roof of a building across the street, the report said. Then, quote, at some point during the standoff, the 2 snipers, identified as Aaron Pearson and Zachary Seraphine, shot Andrew Sundberg.
He literally lives a few blocks away from where our office is.
Meantime, Jailani Hussein with the Council on American Islamic Relations says Sundberg may not be Muslim, but he was a neighbor. Today, Hussein has questions.
We know that in this country, 54% of officer-involved shootings involve people who are expressing some form of mental illness. And it's extremely disappointing that we lose a life in this situation.
That while we're learning more about Sundberg's life. A Facebook post says he was involved in a Minneapolis hockey program. A GoFundMe page says he was a brother, friend, uncle, son, and artist. Talented and energetic.
And what makes this even weirder is that you could say, oh, the cops should have tried different avenues to do something about this. They shouldn't have just shot him. They should have tried to talk him down. They did. It didn't work.
This is your dad again. I need you to talk to the negotiators. They just want to talk to you right now, okay? Give them 30 seconds. That's all. Just to know what's going on. Not asking you to come on, just talk to the negotiators. They're going to call.
Andrew Sundberg, resident of 904 21st Avenue South, apartment 318. Please answer the phone. Please answer the phone as the negotiators are trying to contact you. Please answer the phone as the police department are trying to get into contact with you. Andrew Sundberg, this is the police department. We're outside of 904 21st Avenue South. We need you to pick up the phone when we call inside.
Technically, this is your dad again. I love you. I know you love me. Please talk to the negotiators. You really got to talk to them. Please do it. Me. Thanks.
And in the context of this person shooting into another apartment and the people in that apartment calling the police and trying to get this situation over and done with, they tried everything that they can do in that situation. And no, they don't know if he's unarmed in that moment. They shot him. Is it unjustified? Is it justified? Nobody seems to care anymore, because when it's black versus cop, the black is always the innocent one, and nobody should question anything in the moment before, during. They only want to question the after. And it's weird how the person who called the police apparently had to criticize a bunch of people who were protesting for the individual that could have shot a kid or her in the next apartment over.
Can't get my idols because you guys are celebrating his life.
It was a terror. I'm sure it was a
This
terror.
is not okay. Not okay.
You're alive.
Not okay.
Shut up.
You guys need to just let it go. Grief in silence. This is not okay. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. I wish it never happened either. That I don't have a place to call home. I can't sleep that night.
She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay.
This is what they want to show on the TV. She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay. Just go home. Go home. Because none of you guys knocked on that man's door to check his health.
Shut up. He comes to my house. Shut up. You're
No, you guys did not come. He did not. You guys did not come and visit that man. This is not the time or the place. It wasn't. This is not. It don't matter. It don't matter. Get away from me. Get away. No, because you think it's okay to get on my kid's in the car. My kid's in the car. My black kid is in the car. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front.
Yarbrough showed up.
If I would have died, would he be a bad guy then? For 3 years I lived here, and none of you guys knocked on that man's door to see if he was okay. Not at all. He played loud music every day to cope with his mindset.
Yarbrough says she's the woman who initially called police stating Tekle was shooting into her apartment with her 2 kids inside Wednesday night. Pictures of bullet holes from inside her apartment capturing the damage.
It's sorry he lost his life, but he has 6 hours to choose that. I had 2 to 5 minutes to choose life or death.
Yarbrough says she had a few run-ins with Tekle and thought their differences were settled.
When someone is stalking you, threatening you, I left it alone. I could have called the police and reported it, but then I would have put a black innocent man in jail because of mental illness, and ain't no telling what would have happened. So I left it alone.
And it's at that point you have to understand a lot of people lack critical information. Because if you're just out and about protesting in an area because you believe you have every piece of the information necessary, yet you're criticized by the person who would have been affected by this and the person who called 911 because they didn't know what was going on, all they got is a shot going into their apartment where their kids at, where they're at, where somebody could have gotten shot, and y'all are sitting here saying, oh, well, this person is going through a mental episode. We got to worry about the mental health of everybody. We got to worry about how this person feels. He could have killed some kids. He could have killed the mother of some kids, but y'all not really focused on that. Y'all focused on creating this weird concept of, oh my God, this person was shot and he was unarmed and he was going through a mental episode. We got to stick up and we got to protest. And what's weird is you got somebody in that crowd telling another person who could have been the victim to shut up, that they're alive, ultimately shitting on them for crying and being outraged that they could have died. But this is the part that gets me completely confused and this whole situation is ass backwards. You have these people protesting and supporting this individual because he got shot by a cop, and these same people are criticizing and chastising the woman in the situation for being mad that these people are protesting somebody who could have killed her. And yet, when you go on GoFundMe, there's more support for the person who could have killed somebody and then got shot only because they got shot by a cop, as compared to the person who could have died as a result of this dumb fuck's actions. I could sit here for 3 hours and explain to you the concept of people protesting for a black person who got done in by a cop actually proves that they're all hypocrites, considering none of them step up when a black person shoots a black person, but I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is everybody don't need to be protested for. Everybody don't need to be seeking justice in every situation that you think is important. Everything provides more information in due time. It's important to wait for more information so that you don't look like a fool making an ass of yourself, protesting and yelling at somebody who could have been the victim in that situation, who called the cops to begin with. People look like fools jumping the gun with 15 seconds of information. Waiting for more details is not a sin. I don't care how many people want to bitch about it. I don't care how many people want to say, oh, what's your opinion on this? It's taking you too long to have this information out. It's too long of you to be waiting for an opinion, because more information always comes out. And an honest person will either say, wait for more information, wait for more details, or this is the situation as it stands with more details to come, or they'll just wait for everything to come out so that you can have a full breakdown. Not this weird hot take shit y'all keep doing, and 9 times out of 10 always get wrong. So subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.